And we are back. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, tasties and tastettes, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy, Lenny, joined by the dirty Danity himself. Dante, how are you?
We're here.
You doing well this week?
Can't complain.
Good.
I wouldn't listen. Listening.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, what are we doing?
Whoa, spend a little too much time together here.
Shit. Yeah, what a start. And we are back for another episode. We got some topics to get into. We've got a couple of movies. We are, as of recording this, 10 days into 2024, and I've got 2 movies under my belt.
Bet.
On the road to fucking 40, baby. We beaten last year.
All right. We did the preview, and it's going to be a rough road to 40. But
not if I keep seeing movies like this. Then we have the taste test, which I'm pretty sure for me at least, is pretty chock full of stuff. I got a lot that I've watched. You've probably seen one thing, but all good. We'll get there. You haven't told me I'm wrong, so. But do you want to start off with topics, shall we?
Yeah.
So, one thing I want to touch on, we had talked about this a few weeks back, but they made it official today. Katelyn Devers is joining The Last of Us Season 2 as Abby.
Oh, okay.
Still don't know who she is. That's
Nope.
Okay. But I have constantly said I'm a large fan of hers. And I think she will be great in this role. Not really too much to expound on. She's got to maybe bulk up a little bit. Abby was fucking ripped in that show. Not that show, movies. Not movie, I mean game.
Got what you meant. I wasn't going to correct you, but you just
I had to
tripped all
correct
over
myself.
yourself.
Yeah. Bella Ramsey also has been working out. It's a physical season between those folks. So
we're bulking up.
Yeah, got to get ready for it. You've seen any of those movies, Dante?
Nope.
You should. I mean, I've always told you to watch Booksmart. I still think the most recent one she came out with, the Alien movie,
No One Will Save
is
You.
really good. And then, what's the third row down, second one in? What's the name of that again?
All Summer's End.
Yeah, it's a good movie too. I mean, I've seen Bad Teacher, but I don't really remember her in that. Spectacular Now, she must be like a very small role in that. Because to my knowledge, not really.
I just say your eyes are immaculate. The fact that you can read that from all the way over there.
The only people who would say my eyes are immaculate are people who have never had good eyesight.
It's fucked up, but also
Very
accurate.
It's very true. It's very, very true. Yeah, I mean, not much to divulge here. We've talked about it already. I don't want to run it into the ground. I mean, I'm sure, it's one of those things where it's like, I wonder, it's an interesting career choice for those who know about the game.
Okay.
Because I think she's a great fucking actor, so she's going to probably kill this role. I don't know how the fans are going to respond. Because the second game was a tough one. And Abby's character specifically is a tough go. Did you play the second game? I'm sure I've asked you that
second
before.
Game, no.
You should stream that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't even have a PlayStation, dude.
Oh, but they are re-releasing it. Do you want to see if they have a PC port coming out for? Because they're currently remastering Last of Us. Part
I think
2.
Last of Us Part 1 is available in Steam now.
It is. It's been for a little while, but they're working on the second game. So I'd be interested if they are. Will The Last of Us
coming to? Oh wait, no,
it's not getting a port.
No talk of it yet.
Yeah, you can just borrow my PlayStation. Or we'll just stream one day and we can't leave till you beat it.
How long is that game?
We'll be here for a while.
Fuck.
Set up shop. Vacation time.
All right, I'll have to put in some time off from work.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Let us know if you want to see Dante stream that game till he wins. He's got to do it on the most difficulty too.
Ooh.
Grounded, I think, is what their difficulty level is when it's at its hardest. Yeah. Everybody think it's good casting out there. Let us know if that is the case. I'm sure you do agree.
Wait, now I'm finding an article that's saying Last of Us Part 2 Remaster will be released January 2024. I feel like I should have a release date.
That's inaccurate.
That can't be accurate, but I'm seeing 2 different articles that say January 19th.
What are the sources?
Sports Illustrated and Steam community, so that's probably like a forum chat. Yeah.
What does Sports Illustrated know about The Last of Us? Stay in your lane, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to my knowledge, they're currently remastering it, and I saw something about like some stuff that wasn't in the game originally that they're gonna add in. Some new, like some levels that weren't in it, but there's not levels in that game, so I didn't really understand. I didn't look too far into that.
Yeah. Huh.
But this is saying January 19th as well, right?
Yeah.
Did you look up specifically release date? Because you only looked up PC port.
Yeah, you're right.
TLOU 2.
Shut the fuck up. The Radio Times is telling us Q2 of 2024.
Okay. Well, that sounds still going to be in time because the show doesn't come out until 2025, right?
Yeah.
Second season. So yeah, well, we're going to have you play that, and you'll see Dante cry on stream because he can't defeat it.
It's a hard game.
You suck at games, dude.
I'm better than you.
There's not a lot of cars in that. Speaking of cars, Sony.
Oh,
speaking of Sony, they have a car.
Yeah.
The AFEELA?
The AFEELA, their joint venture with Honda, my boys.
So here's the thing. I saw one thing about it, read nothing more, and I was like, Dante, I need you to educate yourself so you can talk to our people about it. The only thing I saw is that you can
unveiling it at CES.
No, that you can drive it with a PlayStation controller,
which was what they did to unveil it at CES.
Okay, yeah, that's what I saw then. Yep. So is it real?
It is real. It is something that's expected to release in 2026, with pre-orders starting in the second half of 2025. First half of 2025.
Do we get specs like as a car? So the reason I wanted you to educate yourself is because, like, for those of you who don't know, Dante has streamed twice racing.
Oh my god!
He does have a simulator, full-on simulator, and I'm not talking a fleshlight. I'm talking a driving setup. He also has lowered his car, and he's gone to car meets before, so he is our resident expert.
I really don't like the way you're framing this.
He is our resident expert.
I'm feeling
on all
really
things,
belittled right now.
On all things cars. So I would really like you to let us know, are there specs out for this car? Is it like a Tesla ripoff kind of?
It seems that way, but they didn't really... I guess they're still in development, so they don't really have any specs as far as like the performance of the car, like, you know, horsepower numbers or anything like that. Most of what I could find is just features that they're going to be implementing into the car.
Yeah, so watching it over your shoulder, it basically just looked like a TV.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
That
makes sense for Sony.
It almost seems like it's targeted at Tesla, because right now Tesla definitely has the market cornered for like self-driving cars. And they're trying to go after that. So I don't know if they're trying to make it so basically the car just entirely drives itself, because there's like a whole bunch of like cameras and sensors around it that are supposed to like stop at stop signs and stoplights for you. And then it just jumps over to features about how you can like integrate apps and watch movies on either the dash screen or on the two big ass screens on the back of the front seats.
Yeah, so like it basically is like it's just a Sony promo machine, because I just saw Across the Spider-Verse just labeled all over it.
And for some reason, Fortnite.
Okay, all right, that'd be
because they were talking about like a themed mode.
But is it like, okay, so because Tesla already you can watch movies on their screen, right?
Yeah.
Is it like how when I put an aftermarket in-dash in my car, but I had to be like the e-brake had to be pulled to watch that stuff? So are Teslas like that?
They didn't give specifics, but in the promo video I saw, the car was driving while they were watching
But
movies,
so like Tesla already does it. Does Tesla have to be parked in order to have those features work?
I think so. But I don't know if this is something where it's going to be like, oh, it'll let you use those features if autopilot is enabled. Like where it's like you're not actively driving, so fine, watch a movie.
Do you have a level of trust with driving that you would just like sink in and watch a movie?
So we live in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
which probably isn't one of the better states to drive in. I can't trust a computer to figure that out for me.
What are the top 5 states you could trust that you would let this drive? And this is really more of a test to see if you know states.
Okay. Ohio.
Okay. All right. Ohio's one of them.
Kentucky.
Never mind. Yeah, okay, keep going.
I'm basically just thinking of like rural southern states.
Yeah, like I would say Oklahoma.
Oh, okay, yeah. Arizona,
Oklahoma's
Nevada,
pretty flat.
like
Maybe
that area.
Maybe Montana.
Yeah.
But it's like, that might be only like certain months of the year because it's maybe in the winter a little dangerous. How is their handling of like poor weather conditions? Does autopilot enable when it's like shitty weather?
So I know like on the Teslas, like when like say your car is covered in snow, if it's blocking any of the cameras or sensors, it won't let you enable autopilot.
That makes sense. But like, what if you've cleaned your car off, but it is like snowing heavily outside?
It might start to, and then it might at some point just be like, nah, you gotta take over, bro. I can't see shit.
Is there a lag time for disenable?
What do you mean?
Like what if you're in autopilot and all of a sudden it just shuts off because it's like the weather sucks?
And all of a sudden you're just heading straight for a guardrail.
Yeah, like what if I'm like really like sunk into this movie? I'm really getting into it. I'm playing a game of Fortnite. And all of a sudden it just shuts off autopilot. I gotta drop the controller. I guess with the Sony one, at least I could be driving with my PlayStation controller.
Yeah, right? Like you're 1 second playing Fortnite, all of a sudden you're just driving your car, same controller.
You're in the middle of a gunfight and you lose. Fuck. You're out there building houses.
Oh man, it's like fuck. Sorry guys, gotta drive my car.
Yeah, my bad. I thought I was gonna be able to game with the boys for an hour here while I drove home, but
that would be incentive to live further from work.
Yeah, that's what the incentive is. Yeah, I get to play Fortnite on my ride home. I got a level to beat in Spider-Man. I got a mission to go through.
Oh, man.
Do you remember those cars, like the little micro cars? These were like when I was
little,
a kid.
like RC cars that came like connected with the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think like that's what I think that like this is the evolution of? Like when I saw them with the Sony PlayStation controller, I'm like, oh, like you can just go to a parking lot and set up little routes and like just drive your car around with your controller.
That's definitely just Sony flexing. I don't even know how far they're gonna go with this.
What would you do
Honda.
with it? Like you have to be able to see your car, right? Like
I don't know.
Unless it's like
maybe I could. I was gonna say maybe I could link it with my phone like a drone.
Yeah, like a DJI thing. You use like your backbone.
Yeah,
and you can.
Yeah.
Or they have that new Sony.
They can sell it to me as like Gran Turismo 6 in real life.
They have a new Sony handheld.
7. Oh, the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah, like maybe that's the evolution of the PlayStation Portal. Is it just acts like a DJI drone? You're just doing Google Maps out there.
Now people are buying these shits up just so they can drive their cars.
Imagine, dude, you pull up to a stoplight and you look to the left of you and there's just nobody in that car.
I was just gonna say that would revolutionize food ordering.
Oh.
If I could just send my car to do curbside pickups for me and I never have to leave my house.
They just have to go and drop it into like the window.
Yeah.
Like you can, like you're on the dash. No, just the window's open, tips in the glove compartment.
All I need is to make sure that the car has like some sort of two-way audio where I can listen and like speak through external speakers.
Yeah. That scares the fuck out of somebody.
They're just walking up like, oh, nobody's in this car. I'm like, yeah, cool, dude, just drop it in the back.
You just like, stay away from the vehicle. We'll see where this goes. I don't know. Like, how often in the car world, Dante, is it like you get prototypes
that
like
never
this
happen?
that like just don't ever happen?
Very often.
And especially for a car like this, I'm sure there's like so much safety stuff that goes into it that like, why is it even cost effective for Sony to want to do this? Granted, you said Honda's who they're partnered with, so like they're probably just providing software and the cosmetics, and Honda's actually doing the car.
Yeah, like Honda's probably doing the car part of it, and then Sony's probably just like trying to market like add-ons that they can add to cars, and they're probably going to try and partner with other people in the future, or maybe even sell it as like standalone upgrade kits to like Teslas and other EVs.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Well, are you surprised that Microsoft didn't get into this first?
I feel like they had a program where they were trying to build like a self-driving car. I never followed up on it. I don't know what happened.
I personally am surprised that Nintendo didn't do it first, since they've had like the Wii and the Switch. like they've already been trying to work with the motion controls, you know? Yeah. I've been playing Mario Kart for a long ass time.
Oh man,
Shit's just dropping banana peels out while I'm driving. I'm avoiding little.
yeah. Give me a car with trap doors for banana peels.
You have to run away from a little fucking ball that's trying to bite the back of your bumper
Start
off.
chucking red shells out of my car.
Yeah.
Be a whole new level of road rage.
Yeah, well, or when you go to your car meets, dude. Somebody's drag racing, you just you hit him with a blue shell. Just starts following him around everywhere. Takes out the leader. They could have used that in Fast 10.
Hey, maybe that's in Fast 10 Part 2.
Yeah.
Or Fast 11. I don't know
Fast
what they're going to
10
call it
Folie à Deux.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll keep up on that. We'll keep tabs on that one. I think it's kind of interesting. It's a funny idea. It's one of those things, to be honest. Actually, one more thing on it. Do you think it looks nice from an outside perspective? Like, do you think it's an aesthetically pleasing car?
No, not really. I think it's one of those things where they try to make it look so futuristic that it's just not appealing.
Do you think Teslas are aesthetically pleasing?
Some of them, not all of them.
Because I'm more so thinking like the Tesla truck, right? Like that's not nice. Like that's not nice looking.
Not a nice looking car at all. I've constantly said like it just looks like Elon walked into a kindergarten class and was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna take that design for my new vehicle."
Yeah, right. Like it's and it's meant to look like militarized in a way, isn't it? Because it's supposed to be like a Mars machine.
Is that what it is? It's supposed to be like a Mars rover.
Yeah, I think like that was the premise, is that he's gonna be able to drive that on Mars one day.
Cool, dude.
Because I think initially, like, Teslas weren't good looking at all, but I do think now, like,
Well, no, because I always thought the Model S's were nice, like the first sedan they came out with.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think now they're looked at a little differently, at least, because I do think, like, both the sedan and, is the other one, like, a wagon or an SUV? What is it considered?
So they have
it's kind of a crossover.
Well, they have two sedans, they have a crossover and an SUV.
Yeah, like, they're okay. But, like, I think we haven't gotten to the age yet where they've not cyber cars, but like electric vehicles like this, self-driving cars have really like peaked in terms of their aesthetic capability.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm not really with the whole advancement of EVs because they're trying to pull away from like gas engines, and I love that shit. So
yeah, you love pollution and killing the world.
No,
sounds
there's just something about like the roar of an engine and just it's more.
You can make
enjoyable.
your engine roar. It's just
simulated through speakers is not the fucking same, dude.
I don't actually like the roar of engines. Like, I don't think I like when a person turns their car on, like they turn the ignition and like their car's super loud.
Like anything else, there's a time and a place for it. If that's a car you drive every day, no, that's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, like I know.
But if it's like your weekend warrior, yeah.
I know people who drive cars like that, and I'm like, I'm not into it, dude.
I've done that, but that's when you're young and dumb and you just think, every car should be a race car, but like
young, dumb, and full of cum. You're right.
Nope.
Yep, you got that one.
Nope, that is a no for me, dog.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's just like the lack of wanting the attention while driving too.
Yeah.
I don't really want people like looking at me.
Yeah.
How many drag races have you won?
I don't know. I haven't kept count.
Damn, that many?
Yeah.
Shit. You're a boss, dude. How many of them were for slips?
None.
How much money was the most money you put on one?
They were all for fun.
What the fuck is that? Like, somebody else was talking about this the other day. Like, I don't understand drag racing for fun, dude.
There's a certain thrill behind it,
Yeah, but like, if you're gonna like put some type of stakes behind it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just never.
$50. I don't know.
I've always loved cars, but I've never had a car fast enough to like really want to put stakes behind it.
Is it always tough when you've lost?
I mean, I've never lost with stakes, so.
But like you felt the embarrassment of being a loser.
I really don't like the direction you're taking here.
Well, okay, so you're just used to the feeling of being a loser, and that's what the thing is.
Yo, it just feels like you're really trying to hurt me, and I don't like this.
This hasn't been a good subject for you, huh?
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So, something today that came out from people.com. I don't read articles. I just see Twitter stuff, and I just turn them into topics. So this might be fake. I don't.
You just love
know.
basic shit on headlines.
Yeah. I'm like every other thing in the world, basically. Kevin Hart says that there's a secret action movie group chat that includes Dwayne Johnson, Mark Wahlberg, Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Jet Li, and Jackie Chan.
What?
First of all, where does Kevin Hart play into this?
Action movies.
Yeah. Like, why did he get... Did The Rock throw him an invite?
Yeah. What was that first movie they did together? Central Intelligence?
I hate to break it to them also, like, Harrison Ford and Jet Li and Jackie Chan probably don't text. Like, that's probably not them. You just have a fake number.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's just Mark Wahlberg.
Like, what's Jet Li been doing?
Well, I think he got sick, and he hasn't done like action movies in a very long time. Big thing here though is that this is the Expendables.
Oh, Expendables 5?
Hey, Sly, I got an idea for you. You know to make a better movie than Expendables? Expend-5ables, but this is the cast.
No, it's going to be Expendable 5. Like the S is a 5.
Oh, that's actually a way better idea.
Yeah.
Because they really missed the boat with Expend-4ables. But you gotta you gotta make it through the mud to come out the other side. Yeah, I read that and I was just like, dude, what could they what are they talking about? Like just throw around names for movies, like trying to figure out what the next good, that's a good name. Let's make a plot now.
It's funny that you have all these questions because you know where you probably would have got some answers? Reading the fucking article.
Can you just pull up Kevin Hart group chat? I wonder if what that's going to pull up.
I don't want to know.
Or action movie group chat, maybe, like to be more specific if you think that'll avoid some stuff for you.
Yeah.
It's not a secret anymore either. They called it the secret group chat.
Yeah, I know, right? There's literally an article. The
Cat's out of the
actor
bag.
claimed he's part of a secret group chat. Yeah, so what'd you say? Dwayne, Mark Wahlberg, Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, all the biggest guys.
Like Harrison Ford could give two fucks about that conversation.
This definitely just sounds like a joke now because he's like, it's a real secret chat. You know, we just talk about action stuff.
Yeah. I also think The Rock recently said he's moving away from action movies and he wants to do more like serious things. He's got a Mark Kerr movie coming out where he's going to play Mark Kerr.
Okay.
I know you don't know what that is, but
nope. I just said okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think like it doesn't make sense because The Rock's got the biggest ego in all of Hollywood.
Does he really?
Hey, I mean, have you seen his movies?
I mean, it just doesn't strike me as like an outwardly narcissistic
No,
guy.
like
he just likes to be the center of attention in his movies.
Yeah, like so he's a great guy. I watched a movie, a TikTok of him before Christmas. Like this person goes up and finds like a random person going into a supermarket, and he's like, "Hey," like, or maybe it was a store to buy gifts or something. But either way, the person is like, "Hey," to a woman, like, I'm a little short on money right now. I don't have anything to like buy gifts for my kids. Do you think I could borrow $7? And it's because his Dwayne Johnson's like entertainment company is called $7 Productions. Excuse me. And the woman actually gives him like $20 or something like that. And he's like, well, if you don't mind, and it gets kind of creepy, but he's like, if you don't mind, like I have somebody I'd like you to meet. Like you were just so nice. You didn't have to do that. And The Rock ends up giving her like $20,000. He like is hiding like off to the side and like pops out and is like, you know, you didn't have to do that. Like you're such a nice person. So like, long story short, I think The Rock is legitimately like a very like giving person, super nice guy. But I think if you watch his movies, he is a bit narcissistic. And I do tend to believe that if you come through the wrestling industry, grow as big as he is, and then you're as big as a movie star as he is, you've also been told in the past couple of years that you should run for president, that you're probably a narcissist.
They just want him to be the next governor.
Yeah, or Trump. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Very
big difference there.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. Maybe not. You never know. But yeah, I think that it's weird to be like, I want to get away from this. Maybe he knows. Maybe he's got a pulse on the idea that his aura, his personality has kind of become that a little bit, but he also just showed up again at the end of Fast 10, right? So like, how far away from action movies are you trying to get? And like, if you have a lane and you're very good at it,
Why would you try and switch lanes?
Yeah, just stay in it, dude. Like, no, I'm sure that there is a world where The Rock can be a fine actor. But I don't know that I want to see this, like, juiced up fucking 6'5" dude trying to do, like, dramatic roles. What's he gonna, like, do Dallas Buyers Club Part 2? Like, I can't imagine The Rock with AIDS.
Jesus Christ.
Could you? Like, they're gonna CGI him to make him smaller?
That would be bad. No, he would actually have to lose the weight, and I just don't know if he can.
Like, they talk about with the comedian Matt Rife, that, like, he's too, like, handsome to be a comedian, and, like, you don't want your comedians to be, like, super attractive people. It's harder to, like, laugh at somebody who's, like, very attractive. It's the same thing. Like, I don't think I can, like, sob watching a movie with The Rock in it. Tried watching Skyscraper again.
God, I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Yeah, you probably don't need to.
Okay.
You saw Die Hard. It's the better version of that movie. It's just like...
Oh, it's just Skyscraper, just like a B-movie ripoff?
I mean, it's The Rock, so I don't think he's ever done, like, B-movies. But it's one-legged Die Hard. Like, he's a war vet who comes back, and, like, he's been working a security job, and he's, like, he's trying to get a job working, like, for this, like, new skyscraper they're building, and, like, somebody, you know, a group of men take over the skyscraper and his family's inside, and, like, he scales the outside of the skyscraper and makes this, like, there's a whole science thing about it. He makes this huge jump from this, like, scaffolding to the building, and it's like they were like, a regular man can't do this, let alone a guy who weighs as much as he does and with one leg.
Okay. But it's The Rock. He's a superhero.
Yeah, which is, again, narcissistic.
Is it narcissistic if I said it and he didn't?
No, but he believes it. He legitimately, I think, thinks he's a superhero. Not to mention the whole thing with him and Vin Diesel having, like, their, like, stipulations where they, like, couldn't hit each other, and they had, like, a point system in the Fast 5 movie where, like, they could, like, they had to equal out on points for, like, damage they did to each other as characters because they didn't want to look bad. Yeah, it's hard to, like, envision a world where you're not, like, a bit narcissistic if that's the case. And Vin Diesel, also narcissistic, don't get me wrong. Like, and I'm a huge fan. Speaking of narcissists, though, Tom Cruise.
King of the segues.
Tom Cruise has signed a deal with Warner Brothers to develop original and franchise movies, which he'll star in. Do you have any additional information on that?
Basically, it just looks like, so they have new co-chairs, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi, and they're trying to make Warner Brothers great again.
Make the hats.
And so that sparked this whole idea to sign on Tom Cruise to help them create some content for them. But it's not an exclusive deal. So he still has other stuff going on with other studios.
Well, so who makes Mission Impossible? Is it Paramount?
Yeah.
So, like, that's probably where he can't sign on exclusively.
Because then he also has another movie coming out with Universal, I think.
What's that movie?
I don't know, because when I was reading it, it didn't give me a title. It just said working with the Edge of Tomorrow team.
See, I thought the Warner Brothers was going to end up getting the Edge of Tomorrow. Because that movie's been rumored to get sequels for a very long time. I actually tossed around some names of sequels that he can make based on previous movies he made. One of them I had was Tomorrow Has an Edge.
No. Edge of Tomorrow, Tomorrow Has an Edge. No, it's the same fucking title. You have to have progression in a sequel title.
Well, so Edge of Tomorrow is not even like the real... Like that movie was called like Live, Die, Repeat as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is just like a stupid name. But you don't think Tomorrow Has an Edge is a good sequel name?
Why can't we just do Edge of Tomorrow?
That's not bad either, actually. But like it's called like Edge of Tomorrow, Tomorrow Has an Edge.
It just sounds like you're trying to bring back bad 80s movies.
Tom Cruise would love to bring back bad 80s movies. I had a couple, like, so I figure he should come out with a Mummy sequel because that first one did so well.
Right now it's just rumored, but it says Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat.
Live, die, rinse, and repeat.
Jesus Christ.
A couple more. A few more good men. That'd be fun.
Mission Slightly Possible.
It's Raining Man. It's Raining Man. And the last one is The Samurai Has Lasted.
Damn.
Let us know if there's any other good ones out there. There's a million movies. It's just how many of them just Cocktails.
Do you have a War of the Worlds play?
War of Another World.
Chocolate Sky.
Yeah. It's an interracial marriage. Days of Lightning. There's Nights and Days, but that seems like it's just easy enough to just call it that again.
Yeah, when you switch it to day and night.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like mornings and
The Majority Report.
Or it's just called The Minority Report, but it's about like censuses. Or like building a wall.
Oh my god.
That'd be a hoot. Are there any other good names? Are there any other good movies he's done?
Probably play something off of Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Eyes Open.
Yeah. Eyes wide open now.
Yeah.
Finally, I can see.
I see it all.
I was blind, but now I see. I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that I could.
Bottom Gun.
No, but you got to get a Top Gun sequel, right? Even riskier business.
Oh man, can't forget The Outsiders.
Well, he did Young Guns in 1988. About time to do Old Guns, huh?
Oh, man.
Born on the 4th of July. You could do Died on the 4th of July. The Firmer, The Firmist. Another Interview with a Vampire.
Another interview. Interview with a werewolf this time.
Magnolia, but it just takes place in a Best Buy.
So now you're just thinking of parody movies, not even sequels.
I mean, if Tom Cruise just parodied himself, dude, like that's almost what he's done to a point.
Like yeah, we could do War of the World and call it War of the Planet, and it takes place in a Planet Fitness.
He's trying to beat his PR.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yeah, see?
But they already have War of the Planet of the Apes. I feel like he's like ripping off an IP a little bit there.
No, it has nothing to do with apes.
It's just him versus a bench press.
What the fuck?
Oh, what a hoot, dude.
Oh, man.
What a hoot. All right, I think that's all I had for topics this week.
Sick.
Let's get into some movies, some movie reviews. So as I said, I have accomplished seeing 2 movies already to start the year. Let's start with Seen Unseen.
Okay.
So we went to another mystery movie. And let's start there before we get into the movie review, because I feel like this is a topic that I this is going to be an ongoing thing for us, because I think we're going to keep doing this, right?
Yeah.
It seems like AMC is going to continue doing these at least once a month. They're actually adding showings in.
I think our next one is supposed to be a Scream Unseen, which is supposed to be like some sort of like horror or thriller film.
I wonder if it's going to be that one with the imaginary best friends.
That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
I just said Scream Unseen.
I know there's a horror movie about the.
Oh, you're not talking about Ifs.
No, I'm talking like there's 2 imaginary friend movies coming out. It's very funny in that way. They should do a double feature. Like they should do like a Barbenheimer thing with that.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like that's the one I've seen a ton of trailers for. They've played it before. Godzilla. They've done it a few times now. I think is it by A24 or is it by Blumhouse again?
Let me see. Let's see what A24 has coming up.
We just go to.
Why are you groaning like that?
You just do things in the most fucking roundabout ways to get there.
Where do you want me to go to?
No, I mean, just keep doing your thing. I'll talk through it because I have some stuff to get off my chest anyways. So, the mystery movie thing with AMC, it seems to be getting pretty...
that one. It's called Imaginary.
There we go.
It's Blumhouse.
Okay. That makes sense. Like, I'm going to be talking about a Blumhouse movie as well. But so movie going experience, because that's been the only issue that I've run into so far with these Seen Unseen. It's like every fucking time we go, there's a new wrinkle that they throw in front of me. So
I don't even think it has to do with the Screen Unseen program. I have a beef with that theater.
Yeah, fuck. Don't want to get too local. Always hate when we do this. Some of our largest listeners in the past year were actually in the middle of America. They have no idea what we're talking about sometimes. Fuck that Braintree Cinema.
Ooh, right.
In a nice way. Like, I don't hate them, but like logistical things with this fucking theater are just a nightmare. So last time we got there and they told us that the projector wasn't working.
No, they didn't even tell us that when we got there. We had to stand in the line for them to fucking eventually.
Yeah,
no, we didn't even get told.
Yeah,
somebody in line told us.
Top secret information. Our projector doesn't work, and you can stand here for 30 fucking minutes to find out. Taking a breath. So yesterday, not even before we went to the movies, I texted you and I was like, it's kind of weird. Like, it says our seats in H2, and you know, we have this thing, or at least I have had a thing, and you guys have just piggybacked on my thing. Yeah. You've piggybacked on my thing.
Yeah, we're not. Pause.
I buy handicap seats in the back. Nobody sits there. It's a cheat code.
Whoa. We're publicizing the cheat code, bro?
Yeah, I mean, nobody goes to that theater.
What about the other theaters we go to?
Here's the thing. If you're the listenership that's in the middle of America who can't affect us in this regard,
then go for it.
This is an idea for you. The handicap seats, nobody touches them, and a lot of the time, some of the best seats in the theater. Although I saw, have you seen, you don't do TikTok really, right?
Nah.
So there's a TikTok trend right now where it's like, I'm a middle child, and like they'll give like a fact about being a middle child and be like, and then it'll flash back to the older sister and she'll be like, I'm the older sister, I do this. And it's like they go back and forth like talking about stuff, and it's a trend that's taken off with a bunch of different stuff. I saw one for like an interracial couple, and then one I saw was for a movie theater employee, and it was these two girls going back and forth, and they were like, one of them was like, I'm a movie theater employee. We know the best places to sit in the theater. And newsflash, it's not in the back. And I was like, well, that seems like an attack on me. Because I've always sat in the back of the theater.
Curious, what was their answer?
They didn't give it. They kept the secret to themselves.
Gatekeeping.
Well, I think logic would tell me if you sit in the dead center of the theater, it's probably the best seats.
Yeah, I like where we sit.
South Bay Theater is A1.
Oh,
handicap seating. Like,
yeah,
that's
we're
really
in the middle.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like dead center. It's the right level of height for like the Dolby Cinema. Braintree, I agree. I've actually long known that the audio quality that I get in the back of a Braintree theater is not that good because we're sitting underneath the rear speakers.
Yeah.
So I don't think we get the full effect. That's fine. So, getting back to the story here. We buy tickets a month ago. And I just happened to, I never check what seats we sit in either. But I was just like,
I didn't even ask you like what brought you to check.
Yeah, no, I just like I looked at the ticket and I was like, H2? That seems weird. What seat is H2? And I sometimes do check the theater to see like how sold out it is, if there's going to be people who spot the seats next to us, like shit like that, right? So I check and I'm like, H2 is like on the right-hand side, like 4 aisles up or 4 rows up. I'm like, what is this? Whatever. I check with you. You say you have H3. Tom's going. He says you tell me he has like H5, which not a problem because it said there was an empty seat in our 3. Like the way the seats were set up is there's like the middle row, and off to the right and the left there's packs of like 3 seats in a row. So I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Like he can just move his seat to sit next to us. Not a big deal. Get to the theater, and well, so okay, a little bit more context, I suppose. You would come to the conclusion that they might have switched theaters.
Yeah.
So it seems to be that is the case, and that the Seen Unseen thing is growing in popularity.
Yeah, because that was the fullest I've seen one of those.
Well, so to be fair, like the Next Goal Wins theater was pretty full when we went.
I guess
people
I don't
left
remember
like
now,
right
but
after the movie started, but it was pretty full. So it seems like this is successful for them. You've mentioned the price point is good, $5 to get in, right?
Yeah.
They're doing really good in pre-sales. They probably sold out a smaller theater, and they moved the theater over. I think that's kind of fucked up to not, like, I should get the handicap seat again.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Like, why would I move my seating location? Also, we should probably receive some type of fucking notification letting us know that
like, hey, your seats have been updated.
Yeah, like take a look at your tickets. You can move seats if you don't like where you're sitting while there's still some available, like whatever it is, you know? But I get there, before you get there, it's me and Tom are there first. I'm doing my popcorn. He creepily walks up next to me. He says he announces himself. I swear to God he didn't. So we walk into the theater, and I go to H2 and H3 where our seat's supposed to be. And there's these two women already sitting there, lounged back, popcorn in the seat next to them, chilling. And I'm like, who doesn't hate having to do this furthermore?
Yeah.
Like having to be the guy. I'll go a couple weeks back. When I saw Anyone But You, Dante, I think I told you this. I walked into the theater, and these girls that walked in right before me sat in my seat.
No, you didn't tell me that part.
They had blankets with them. They were covered up. They were comfortable.
They like fully nested in.
Yes. Like they had gotten themselves nice and fucking comfortable. And I was just like, fuck it. Like I'm by myself. So like I'll just sit in the next seats over and handicap. But I look, because I pull up the seating chart to see if anybody else has bought the ticket for the seat that I'm sitting in. And it says that somebody has. So for the first 20 minutes of the movie, I'm like stressed out because I'm like, somebody's going to walk in and be like, dude, you're in. Okay, there's two options that happen. They ask me, they're like, you're in my seat and I have to move. And that sucks. Or it's just a two-seater and I end up like in the situation I was for that TLOU movie where I just have some fucking stranger sitting next to me in a love seat.
Yeah.
Watching a rom-com with me, a complete stranger, dude. Like, and it's never a girl.
No.
Girls don't go to the movies by themselves. It's always a guy. Yeah. And like, it was just so I was just stressing for like 20 minutes. Like, anyway, back to this movie. I go up and I'm like, I have to go, like, I show them my ticket. I'm like, hey, like, I have this seat. And they're like, wait, you do? Really? Like, we have this seat. And I like have my phone out already. So I show them and it says H2. They pull out their phone. Their phone says H2 and H3. They had bought both of those seats too. They double fucking sold us. And I'm like, I'm a gentleman that I am, nice guy that I am. I was just like, you ladies stay there. You got here first. Finders keepers. You called dibs. They're all yours, right? So the opposite of the opposite side, 3 seats are open. We're like, we'll just go sit there. We go and sit there, pull up the seating chart. Somebody's already bought these fucking tickets. Mind you, the whole theater is almost bought out. Everything's down to like individual seats. Singular seats across this theater.
Yeah.
The second we sit down, I didn't even start eating my popcorn, Dante. I just put it down because I knew. I knew what was going to happen. I was like, I'm going to have to move again.
Yeah.
I'm fucked. I'm going to have to move again. Sit down. Don't touch any of my stuff. I'm just sitting there waiting. 2 minutes later, a couple walks up. Hey, these are our seats. Totally get that, dude.
Cool.
We fucked up. We're assholes. You think we're assholes. It's actually AMC's the fucking
I was going to say,
assholes.
you can't even say we fucked up.
But, like, we look like assholes. Because, like, what do you think when you see the people have to get up and move? Because, like, they're fucking assholes. They sat in the wrong seat. It's assigned seating, dickhead. Just find the right seats.
Yeah.
You bought them. You picked the seats. Sit in the right fucking seats. This was not in my control, but I'm not going to go into a whole... I thought about maybe explaining it. So, listen, what had happened was... There was a whole seating mishap. They sold us double sold tickets over there. We thought we could sit here. It was like going to be a whole thing.
You just got up and you're like, yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah. So we go to the back. There's still 2 handicap seats available. We sit down there. One of the seats says they're purchased. I'm just like, we'll figure it out. Maybe they don't show up. They haven't showed up yet. The movie starts starting, and I'm like, cool, they haven't shown up. Nor had you. But I told you about the Anyone But You thing. So the whole time, every single person I hear open the door to walk in, I'm like preparing myself and like looking over my shoulder. That's why you
noticed right when I walked in.
Yeah.
This is like, who the fuck is looking back when the movie's going?
Me.
Yeah.
because I have to be stressed out because I'm the one sitting in somebody else's chair. There's one seat sold and I was sitting in it. So I was fucking panicking the whole time. I was like, somebody's going to walk in. I'm going to have to go find a solo seat where I sit next to a bunch of strangers while the movie started and it's fucking dark in here. And then what if I sit down in that seat and somebody else shows up for that one? You know?
Well, it's always awkward when it's like dark already, especially for people like me that don't have good eyes. I'm like, damn, I can't really move around in this. I might sit in somebody's lap by accident.
That'd be fucking hilarious. On top of the fact that I'm pretty sure they did this to multiple people because at some point before you got there, Dante, there was a woman who worked for the theater who was like showing people to seats and was like standing in the back. So I'm pretty sure they had double sold multiple people seats through the move of switching where they were sitting. And like, I thought about going out there and saying something. Because I was like, dude, it's like pretty big fucking inconvenience. It's kind of annoying. Like, I did nothing wrong here, and now I might not have a seat to this, like, movie that's, like, a convenient seat. The only seats when I looked that were, like, consistently available was literally the very front row.
If I got there on time, maybe I could have got us some more free popcorn.
That was, well, so Tom was like, well, the tickets are already free. It's like, well, look at you, motherfucker. You didn't get popcorn or anything. I did. Like, I could go out there and be like, I want my money back for this shit. This has been a terrible experience. And I even thought about when she was standing behind me, I was waiting for the person to walk in and say that I was in their seat. Because I was going to be like, hey, lady, what's
Give
up?
you a piece of my mind.
Yeah. Not your fault, but I'm kind of fucking annoyed right now.
Yeah.
Because there was a pack of 4 seats in the handicap section, and there was only one guy who bought a ticket, but he bought the middle chair.
Weird.
No, I think that's okay when you're going by yourself. I do that.
Okay.
I like the bigger armrest, a little bit more space, you know, whatever. But I didn't want to go to that guy and be like, hey, there's 3 of us. They double sold our tickets. Can you move? Like, I just didn't want to be like an inconvenience to him because it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Right. But that was like the only other thing I could think of really doing. So it ended up being like, I think the person who's sitting in my chair actually ended up sitting in that 4-pack of chairs with that guy.
Gotcha.
And just didn't say anything to us. He just did the thing that I did with anyone but you. And he just went and sat.
Just
in
take
the other solo
confrontational route.
Yeah, which is like props to him. If that is what he did, if you ever see this out there, sir, you're a good man. Thank you. I appreciate you. And then yeah, I was also keeping an eye out for you because I was just trying to be like you said, you're fucking blind as a bat. You can't see anything. And echolocation doesn't work when there's a bunch of other sound going on in the room. So I caught you as you walked in and I was like, that's your chair over there. And what do you think of that seating? I actually kind of like that seat.
No, I liked it. It's like the solo chair. I guess I don't love off to the side, but you know, it allowed me to comfortably sit at an angle and still have a good viewing angle of the screen. So I liked it.
When I go to movies by myself and it's a full theater, that's what I'll sit in a lot.
Okay.
Because like I can guarantee that I don't end up with a stranger
next to you,
sitting next to you, and it's kind of nice because you can put your foot up on like the metal railing
in front of you, yeah,
without having to put the like chair up, you know, into recline.
Yeah, no, I was getting cozy.
Speaking of putting chair into recline, yesterday there was a guy at the end of the movie, like it was going to credits, that put his chair reclined further back. I was like, dude, you know what part of the movie it's at? You're getting more comfortable. About to leave.
Oh, man.
But yeah, okay, so the actual lead up to the movie is going to be longer than this review. I just want everybody to probably know. Yeah. And not, like, to get into the movie, not because it's a bad movie. It's actually bordering on very good, I would say, overall.
Yeah. This is probably a movie that's going to get a ton of awards.
I don't know, because it's like so early in the year. This is a concern I have for this movie, at least for me from a critical
you feel like
standpoint.
It gets forgotten
too.
By the time it gets to award point?
And is like enough people going to see it? So we saw the movie Origin, which literally I knew nothing about going into it. Never seen a trailer. Didn't know what it was about. Can you pull up the IMDb description for it and just read to people? You already have it up on the screen.
Oh, shit. I already tried to pre-search.
This is what I'm talking about, people. I'm like, the roundabout way that we do things.
So I had searched it. I just never clicked it. And I just switched back over to the IMDb tab and went straight to the search bar. I'm sorry I didn't read.
So to give some pre-context for what I thought this movie was about, I saw it had John Berthal in it. It was called Origin. And then I read the description. I just thought it was a religious movie.
The unspoken system that has shaped America and chronicles how lives today are defined by a hierarchy of human divisions.
I just assumed
I would have no idea what to expect reading that.
It's the most vague description of a movie that you would ever fucking hear about in your life. And for a mystery movie, you could have told me what it was. It was still a mystery to me. I had an idea. It was one of 2 movies I was going to see. And this one was largely a mystery, even though I kind of had an idea it might be this movie. Right? it's kind of hard to describe what the movie is about, but essentially, I'll tell you the first scene because you weren't there. You didn't get there until after the first scene.
Tom told me what it was.
Yeah, but I'll tell the people, right? So the movie starts with like an 18-year-old African-American boy at a convenience store buying Skittles. Walking home, talking on the phone to his girlfriend, and he's like, I think somebody's following me. Now, this part makes no sense, and if this is what happened in real life, because this is a true story.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay, like, be safe, like, maybe go a different way, call me when you get home. Bitch, stay on the phone with me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just told you I think somebody's following me, and you're like, yeah, I'll just talk to you later. You just get off the phone with me?
Yeah, you got that piece.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You should stay on the phone with me right now. So you don't see what happens, and I missed like what was going on in this scene, and it wasn't until about 5 minutes later that like Tom leaned over to me and he's like, was that kid supposed to be Trayvon Martin? And I'm like, shit, I think it was. What movie are we seeing right now? And so it's a lady who's an author, hasn't written a book in a while, and somebody comes to her and they're like, we want you to write a book about like the way race affects America. And did you see the stuff about the Trayvon Martin case? We have the audio clips from the police officers. Were you here for that part at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. And the only reason I give that much detail is to say that she points out something once she listens to the audio and reads more about it. And she's like, why is this considered a race thing? Because it was like an 18-year-old black kid and a Puerto Rican middle-aged man in a white neighborhood. Where is the race part of this? Because it's not a white person killing a black person. So why are we immediately jumping to it being a race issue? It seems like there's a bigger thing here. And that basically sets off into her looking deeper into what drives these issues in America, and it's more of a class issue or a caste issue. I think they're both like, what's the difference between a class and a caste? Can you explain that to me? Do you know?
No,
because they're kind of like you're like
I feel like the
there's
terms
overlap,
are probably
right?
synonymous, but
it's a deep fucking movie. It's a painful movie, as a lot of like things that deal with history like this are. Not a movie that I think one of the bigger takeaways while watching it is like the scene unseen thing is important in a way, for me at least, because it's getting me outside of the comfort zone of movies generally that I would see. Yeah. Right. And you mentioned something last week and the week before, Dante, about like the thing about going to the movies is it gets you to be more invested because there's less distraction.
Yeah.
And this is just a movie that I think would be hard for me, at least. I can speak from my own personal side of stuff, to become super invested in watching at home without being distracted by it. But watching it in the theater, it's uncomfortable, yes. It's serious the whole way through. There's not really humor in it at all. Nor should there be for what it's about. But like, you get very drawn in, I think, overall to the story itself. And it's her looking at the history of people. Like even in the description, it doesn't really detail it, right? Because it talks about America. And like, it is largely about what we deal with here in America and how our history has affected it. But they're able to tie in
correlations, like
like Germany and the Holocaust and India and the issues that they deal with, like with classism and castes of people, and how they're all intertwined with each other, into how systematically the world is set up to put groups of people at the bottom and against other people. It's really hard for me to talk about because like we're generally just like, I've talked about it anyway, we make dick jokes. Like it's just not a movie that's in my wheelhouse, so to speak, and it's not something you can make jokes about really either.
Yeah, no, you can't.
But it's powerful. Like,
I mean, the little jokes I did make was, like you said, this is for Screen Unseen. This is like definitely a heavy movie to just drop on people.
It's a hard,
if they weren't expecting it.
That was one of the things we talked about. Like you were sitting a little away from us and you could hear us whispering. And that was like one of my major things is like, this movie's really good, but I do think it's a weird thing to put this on people without them having a choice. Like, they had a choice to buy the ticket, but they're buying a mystery movie. I think a bigger discussion as far as the AMC side of stuff as to what they choose to put in these spots.
But I think at least so far, the selection of movies have been movies that probably otherwise wouldn't be successful, but are pretty good movies.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I think the goal is to grow the platform for those particular movies. But when you're going to make social commentary like this, and to be clear, again, 100% right in the social commentaries that they're making. I don't disagree with the message, right? But we live in a world where there is a group of people, and hopefully they're trying to open the eyes of the people that don't agree with this message. But I think, at least for the first 45 minutes, there's going to, like, and when you're trying to retain people to watch it, it does feel a bit woke, you know, in some regards. And like,
yeah,
that's
because
not
even I said that was like, oh, great.
It.
This is another movie that's going to try and shove a woke ass message down my throat.
And I think the biggest issue, and I brought this up, there's a scene with Nick Offerman in the movie, and I think this is the biggest thing I didn't like about the movie necessarily. So Nick Offerman plays like a plumber, and she inherits. This woman deals with more loss than the Von Erich family. Like, she's just going through it. She loses, like, her husband. She loses her mother all within a year. She inherits her mother's house, and it's a fixer-upper, right? It's an old home, hasn't had a lot of work done on it.
I need some happiness in this one, because the last movie I did watch in the movie was Iron Claw.
Yeah, we're on a bit of a sad run right now. But yeah, so Nick Offerman comes over as a plumber to give her a quote for her flooded basement, and he's wearing a Make America Great Again hat. And to me, there's nothing. I think there was things that were implied, but the only implication was the hat that he was wearing.
But you also got to remember the time period it was in and what that hat implied around that time.
That's fair. It was taken, like, I think that is a part that gets maybe missed if you're like, and I think I maybe even wasn't thinking about it that way. About like, yeah, what time the movie was coming. Like, it takes place between what, like 2017 till early to 2020.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Even maybe.
I'm not good at like dates, but
yeah, because like they show Obama in office. Obviously, they start the movie with the Trayvon Walker stuff, and then like Trump.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, sorry, I said Walker. Trayvon Walker is a football player, I think. It's my bad. I might have said that earlier, and he didn't correct me too.
No, you said it correctly the first time.
Did I? Okay, good for me. But yeah, I just think that like. That's a very subtle, but like that's where I think you're gonna lose people and like get that idea that like, oh, another woke movie. Is it's fairly early on before they've gotten into the more heavy context as to what the movie's about, and you think it's just gonna be a movie heavily based in like that.
Yeah.
Were you impressed with the number of people who stayed? Especially coming off of next. I am
impressed with the final number of people that stayed, but like there was a period where like. I want to say over like a 10-minute span, you got a bunch of different groups of people that just kept getting up and leaving.
No,
but some of them came back.
There was only 5 people who actually left and didn't come back.
Okay.
Because I heard them throw away their trash.
Gotcha.
Like they threw away their popcorn and their drink. I always watch when people come and go from the theater.
Okay.
For one, it's just like people watching. For two, that Dark Knight movie. So I'm always very aware of.
So you know who came with a backpack and who didn't.
I'm always I'm very aware of the coming and goings in a movie theater, and especially because we talked about when Next Goal wins, like there's a decent amount of people who left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Far less people left for this, but I wonder how much that is the pressure of one of the things we talked about. If you want to talk about it on here, what was the image that a person would have if they left during this movie?
I mean, the immediate thought in my mind, whether I was serious about it or not, was racist.
I think that's the inner dialogue that people had.
And the reason I say that now is like, I think that's also what they were going through in their head was, what do I look like if I get up and leave this movie right now?
And I'll say, like, being there before the movie started, there was a decent mix of people, like, from backgrounds, like cultural backgrounds, that went to this movie. But I do think that when you look at history is certainly I don't want to say painful on white people because they're the ones who inflicted the pain, but like it's not pretty for a modern for people in modern times, and they talk about this in the movie. And one of the things I found to think about, and I don't know how, I'm sure you thought about this maybe even more than me. We're so fortunate to grow up now.
Yeah.
And it's tough because like there's still like
there's still a lot that goes
bullshit
on, but not as bad as it was.
But you see like a small boy not being able to swim in a swimming pool.
Exactly.
And shit like that. And you're like, this is like so fucked up, and it's not violent. Like it's just this kid who's being like.
Yeah, my allergies were acting up a few times in that movie. I had to wipe my eyes, you know?
The time that almost got me was when she was talking to her cousin.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one.
That phone call was tough.
But
yeah, I think that when 50% of your audience is white, and this movie is largely targeting things that like come from their heritage, right? Their background, and not them looking in like the most positive of lights, obviously, whether it wasn't them who did it. And I think that's an important thing to always remember, but it is just a tough thing to watch. And you're like, I can't believe people did this shit. I said that to Tom during the movie. I was like, it's like the hardest thing about watching movies like this is realizing that this is real.
This is real life. This happened.
Yeah. Like this stuff
and
like
happens.
Isn't made for fiction. Like the Holocaust happened. Like these things in India are still happening. Like the stuff in America still happens, but it was so much worse in like the way things were.
Well, the thing you got to realize too is like the stuff they were showing in India, that was like present day India.
Exactly. Right. And like, interestingly, the juxtaposition between Germany and India, I thought was super interesting too, about how like they talked about in Germany how like you won't find anything of Hitler anywhere, right? Like they've just completely wiped
just erased him, yeah.
And they talk about this with America too, how the Confederate flag is still like representing one of the states in America today. I think it might be gone post this now. Mississippi was still using it. It still like heavily influences the South in general. But in India, their leader of like, you know, biggest voice for freedom and all of these things, they literally have cages around his statue
because he was born into that lower class that they just don't respect.
Yeah, so that it's both the most like uplifting thing for their people, but also their most vandalized thing that they have. So they have to protect those statues, and they can be found everywhere across India.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't go there. Like, I think people should see it. Whether you watch it at home, you watch it in the theater. This isn't, again, like a traditional. This isn't a movie I'm going to have on my list that you had to see in the theater at the end of the year. But I do think, based on what we've been talking about recently, one of the things about a movie theater is its ability to draw you in, and for a message to land, I think, in a much more powerful way. And I think that this is a movie that's able to accomplish that, and it does have a very powerful message. And again, based on a fully true story on a book that did come out in 2020. I don't know that I'll ever read the book for the fact of like it's just not a book that like I think I'd read.
I don't really read books, and I don't feel a need to read the book because I feel like the message basically was delivered in the movie.
And the woman who plays the lead in this was great.
Yeah.
Like really, really good. I think all around, all like the performances in this movie were all very good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a 100% should watch. It passes the taste test. I would like them to give me something a little bit more. If it's a horror movie next month, that's a good change.
Like, give me a heads up on genre at least.
Yes and no. Like, I don't mind like keeping the mystery to it, but like,
also, I don't think the next one is next month. I think it's like January 29th.
That's basically next month.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think like even what we didn't go to last week, they did another one, and it was Book of Clarence.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about that movie, but it seems like it has some religious undertones to it, right?
It's all religious, but I guess from what I've read about it, it's not like throw it in your face religious. Like they try to make it digestible. It's not like Passion of the Christ.
It's just like these. It's tough to put these kinds of movies as a mystery movie that you're walking into with no heads up to the content that you're going to be given.
But again, that goes back to my applause that I give the Screen Unseen program. Is it's like movies you wouldn't otherwise have the masses turn out for, and I think they're just trying to generate more word of mouth.
You're right. You're right. I think it'd be interesting because like Next Goal Wins didn't get a bump from like a box office standpoint from this.
Yeah.
I don't think that this movie's going to make a ton of money, but I assume the budget wasn't crazy for it either. You know, it seems like a relatively low budget drama.
Yeah.
So, I just don't know that it's going to gain popularity for this kind of a movie. But I do think, at least with our small platform, I would say to watch it, check it out. You know, I'm sure most people who come away from this probably feel similar. So moving on to the other movie, not nearly as heavy in social message or content.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think it is? You think Night Swim?
I'm just saying, you know?
Yeah. The historical true story of Night Swim, the Blumhouse horror movie.
I'm just saying, proceed with caution when you go to the next pool.
So you want to see this, right? So I have to tread lightly, literally.
Tread water.
Yeah, like on how detailed I go with it, right? And I'll make it brief in that regard. So essentially, the quickest, most digestible way I could explain this movie is a wishing well, an evil wishing well meets Amityville Horror. Okay, that is the most brief synopsis I could give of this movie.
Now I wonder what the actual synopsis
Yeah,
is.
give us that. Critically, like as far as like what I thought of it, it's not like this isn't my favorite genre of horror. I've talked about it.
I think your synopsis is better.
What did they say?
A woman swimming in her pool at night is terrorized by an evil spirit.
But even like that description isn't really accurate. Like, because you guys were talking to me about this movie last night, and like what the trailer like shows you of it, and I don't think that the trailer fully gives you what it is. Like so essentially, like if you have something, if you're already like in a negative place in your life and you have something that you want, that you desire,
yeah,
it senses that and it can give it to you. But if it gives it to you, it has to take something else. Okay? So if it giveth and it taketh away. Taketh away.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? You're a little off on that.
I caught a lisp. I'm wishing to get rid of that.
Oh, what are you willing to give up for that?
Yeah, you.
Whoa, damn, bro. Come on.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, so the performances in it are fine. If it's your type of like horror movie, like that, more like not like Possession or anything like that, but a little bit more like jump scary type horror, I think you'll like it for the most part. It's a serviceable movie. It's at the end of the year going to be a big, probably nothing on my list, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Not super impactful.
This isn't anything I expect to be like a list topper.
Yeah, and it didn't draw much to box offices. It was, from what I can tell, pretty disappointing from a box office standpoint. Budget's only about $15 million, and I think they said it made like 12, maybe.
17 at this point.
Yeah,
Or
so
12 domestically. So yeah.
In terms of Blumhouse movies, it ranks pretty middle of the road for them. It's not a big success or anything. I don't think it's going to draw or anything. It's not, because if anything, it's going to come in half of that next week. So it's basically in U.S. going to break even. Or is that worldwide box office?
Worldwide was 17. U.S. was 12.
Yeah. So it's going to basically break even by the end of everything with like the promotional efforts, minimal as they were, that they put into it. On the plus side, it is lower budget. Perfectly fine movie. As far as rankings go, like Origin is at number 1. Ranking for number 2 would be Night Swim.
Okay.
Not much there yet. This week though, I add the third one. Dude, I'm getting to 40. I might be at 40 by the summer at this rate.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. But
okay, you're gonna start doing like the artisan films they show at AMC.
I do think that is one thing I do want, not like artisan, but like I do want to try and be a little bit more outside of my comfort zone this year.
I like that.
Like see things that are a little bit more outside of what I typically would get into. So not just horror, action, comedy. Like I want to add in a little bit more of those dramas. It maybe not as always as heavy as Origin. is, but more acting in it.
Okay.
So I do plan on hitting over 40. I would love a world where I get to 52.
Ooh, a movie a week.
I would like to be able to say I see a movie a week. Yeah.
And then next year?
70.
Oh, okay.
Get to a world where I've seen 100 movies in the theater in a year. I don't even know if that's possible.
I was going to say, can we get to, 156? Max out the 3 movies a week?
I'd have to start going to like Lowe's theater to see the foreign films.
3 movies a week is a lot to commit to.
No. Even one a week is an undertaking in a way.
Yeah.
The Braintree convenience factor is what I'm gonna have to rely on for a lot of this stuff, right? Like keep the action IMAX stuff to South Bay, of course.
We'll see how long the convenience factor really holds weight. I don't like that theater.
Yeah. I mean, but what's our choice?
Because the other thing too is even when I get the popcorn, it's they're giving me cold popcorn, bro.
Yeah, it's not good.
Cold, stale popcorn.
I'm actually on this wave, Dante, and maybe it's because we did get tainted that one time we got super fresh popcorn.
Dog, it hasn't been the same since.
I haven't enjoyed popcorn in a month.
I haven't enjoyed it since that time we got fresh popcorn.
That's a month ago.
That was a month ago, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, since that time, I haven't enjoyed it.
No, I think I haven't even I've been eating the top layer and I've been done.
Yeah.
I haven't been finishing it.
Oh, I finish it because in my head I'm like, you pay for this.
Yeah, I don't know. I eat enough of it, and then 20 minutes in the movie I'm done. I just put it down and I don't go back to it. I might grab a couple pieces here and there, but it's all there's no butter on it. Some dry ass popcorn.
Nah, if I wait that long, now it's even colder and stale. Staler.
Exactly. And they just have theirs sitting in that. At least South Bay has it under the heating lamp.
Exactly.
So it has this illusion.
It's crisp a little bit better.
Yeah. It has an illusion of warm too. The first couple bites.
Yeah. It's not an illusion. It's real. It does still get cold pretty quick, but
yeah. The Braintree stuff, it just comes out cold.
Yeah.
And their buttering stations are fucking terrible.
No boy.
Everything about it's kind of whack. Okay, let's move on to the taste test. We are now in a living room.
No, not yet. We're still transitioning, right?
It's still transitioning. What operation is it on now? So, what did you watch? Let's do yours first.
So I watched your number 2 movie of the year.
Is it 2 or 3?
The Creator? You put it at number 2.
I couldn't remember if I had it 2 or 3.
I don't know. I don't feel like looking it up.
What'd you think?
I fucking loved it. I don't know why you hesitated on its placement after watching it.
I have it at 3.
You have it at 3, okay.
Yeah. Why I hesitated? On what?
On even placing it above Mission Impossible and John Wick.
Yeah. I mean, we got there.
Yeah.
I think there was just some bias from me initially, at least on the Mission Impossible front. Yeah. Of loving the franchise, really liking Tom Cruise. But how do you feel with the at-home viewing experience?
I mean, that's definitely a movie I would recommend having seen in theaters. Because at home, I had to kind of finagle some things to make it enjoyable. And what I mean by that is I don't have a crazy audio setup at home. So this is a movie that has a lot of really good audio cues, and so I had to put on a really nice Beyerdynamics headset that I have to really grasp the audio in this movie.
I think overall you still gave yourself as good, I think headphones for movie watching is actually an underrated way.
No, yeah, that's definitely the way, because I have a center channel speaker that I use with my computer, and I was starting out the movie and I was just like, this ain't gonna be it.
Yeah, I think you immerse yourself a lot more with the headphones because you hear a lot more of that detail and it draws you in a little bit more.
It also gives you more that 360 framing, pseudo surround sound.
Mm-hmm. And you have a good monitor.
Yeah, really good monitor.
So, you enjoyed it. It holds up to the ranking that we ended the year giving it. Still agree that -1 is superior?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to see more movies like that. I hope they start more of a trend. Not that it's like a super original plot necessarily, but I think that the originality comes from the budget that they were able to accomplish the movie with. It looks phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal. Strong acting performances, all with like only a $70 million budget. Crazy. So that like that's how you, in all reality, like I hope like more production companies realize that like movies can be successful in the movies again. You just don't need to make superhero movies that cost $300 million that have this crazy overhead to try and compete with. You know, like you look at like Aquaman, I think is just now breaking like 300 million and it's just going to be a huge flop in the theater. And it's because you feel this in need to make a movie that doesn't even look that good cost that much fucking money.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Oh. I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Which is crazy. That made over $1 billion.
That is insane. Where's my thing? There we go. Oh, yeah, they cracked 336 worldwide.
Yeah, like that's not gonna do it. You know, I just don't. You don't need to make movies like that anymore. So that you didn't. Did you end up watching that movie I told you to watch?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So this is a movie I watched years ago, and I've watched a few times. It's actually I vividly remember sitting at Jake and Joe's with Steve, talking to him about this movie like 6 years ago. Called A Simple Favor. Stars Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick and Henry Golding. What did you think?
That's honestly a style of movie I enjoy, and if you have any other recommendations on movies similar to that, I enjoyed it a lot. Like I like the plot twist and the way it all played out, and it was fun throughout it. You know, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of tension, suspense.
Yeah, mystery.
Yeah,
to it. You know,
trying
what's
to figure
going
out
on?
What's going on? Who did what?
Did you buy Did you have an idea where it was going?
I mean, I pretty much knew right away that like she faked her death.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know what the play was going to be on, like how.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's largely carried by like I think Blake Lively is great, like in that movie, in that role. I think she did
she plays a badass.
Like I think like how like her attractiveness plays in that role so well, you know.
Yeah.
Like the aura that she's able to present, which makes like a person like Anna Kendrick, who's more your girl next door attractiveness, like still beautiful, but like not like supermodel, like traditional supermodel look, right? They play off of each other and complement each other so well in that regard that I think that makes their characters work so well together.
Yeah.
And then like this is early Henry Golding, like before he's kind of grown to like the popularity I think he has now. But that's a guy who every movie I see him in, I love. Like The Gentleman, he's really, really good in. Even he did that G.I. Joe movie, and I think he was really good in that. Like he's a great actor. Crazy Rich Asians, was he in that? I think he was. If he's not, that's fucked up. I know.
Is it? He didn't give the invite?
Cross my fingers that I got this one right.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians. There you go.
Yeah, so. Yeah, just a really, really good actor. And if it's a movie you have not seen yet and you're into kind of... I equated it a bit to Knives Out. Do you think that was a fair... Like, giving... When I was telling you, like, what kind of movie it was, like, a fair comparison?
I mean, in terms of, like, the mystery aspect...
Like there's no detective that's like she is doing like kind of the detective thing, but I mean more in the sense of like a thriller whodunit with like a bit of comedy to it.
Yeah. Like there's not really a huge realm of similarities, but I get where you're kind of like grouping it into like that style of genre.
Like as far as like trying to give you comparable stuff to tell you why you should watch it. Yeah. So yeah, definitely watch that. That spun me off into watching Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, which is not the same kind of movie at all. It's just a raunchy R-rated movie with Zac Efron, Anna Kendrick, Audrey Plaza, and Adam Devine. Okay. Just a funny movie. I've been on my rom-com shit recently. I think part of it is, like you said, we've been going to the movies and just seeing these fucking sad movies. And I'm like, let me escape, please.
You just need to lighten it up a little bit.
So my way to lightening.
Wow.
Can you say it for me?
Lightning.
Thank you. Fuck. doing this every week just enlightens me to the fact that like I have a decent vocabulary, but like
a serious speech impediment
at times. Yeah, I get really hung up on shit. Just like if you're looking for like a raunchy R-rated comedy to kind of get into, it's a good choice. Give it a shot.
All right.
Speaking of rom-coms, well, actually, I'll really quickly throw this one in there. Have you ever watched Workaholics?
No, I haven't.
So, highly recommend. Very funny. If you're looking for a bedtime show, just something to throw on, Dante. Really good choice.
Bedtime shows for me are dangerous because then I don't go to sleep.
This isn't that type of show. Because it's not like every episode's its own individual thing. It's like there's no like through line of like storyline.
All right, because usually like I throw on some shit that was like background noise, but then I end up paying attention to it, and before I know it's 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's in the realm of like You're Always Sunny, stuff like that, where it's just a funny TV show to watch. But like Adam Devine, I watched Mike and Dave Need a Wedding Date, and I was like, dude, like I haven't watched Workaholics in quite some time. Let me throw that on and watch a few episodes. And I think I'm gonna go and rewatch the show.
Okay.
It's a very funny Comedy Central TV show. So I had 2 other rom-coms that I watched this week. One I didn't watch all the way through. One I did. Have you ever seen the movie Drive Me Crazy?
No.
It has a Britney Spears song that was written for it. You drive me crazy.
Never heard
I
it.
just can't. I'm so excited.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Melissa Joan Hart is in it.
Hart.
Yeah.
Cool. Adrienne Grenier.
Who is from Entourage.
Gotcha.
But this is pre-Entourage. It's 1999.
99, yes.
Yeah. So really old rom-com. Some of the prime era of rom-com though. Melissa Joan Hart at her like peak. You're a big Sabrina guy, so I know you can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just like a fun traditional ass 90s rom-com. If you're looking for something lighthearted, easy to watch, good choice. Give it a go. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't watched it in 20 years, watch it again. Right?
Shit, 25 years.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, enjoyable movie. The other one I watched is one I've never seen before, and I only got halfway through it, but I do plan on going back to it. It's called Accidental Love. We've been talking about Jake Gyllenhaal on here recently. It is a Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Jessica Biel is also in it. Okay. Tracy Morgan is in it. Really, really good cast. It's about Jessica Biel's character is a girl in a small town who has an accident where she gets a nail stuck in her head. And it causes her, like, so basically they're going to do the operation to get the nail removed, but she doesn't have the money to do so because her parents gave her the choice when she turned like 22 that they can either pay for her to stay on their health insurance or they can pay off her credit card debt. And she chose the credit card debt, so now she doesn't have the $150,000 she needs to pay.
$150,000 of credit card debt?
She has a nail in her
22?
brain. No, that's the cost of the surgery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like, yo, at 22, you have $150,000 of credit card debt?
Yeah, no, that's the cost of the surgery. She doesn't have that to pay, and she doesn't have health insurance. So that would just be the cost without health insurance to remove a nail from her brain.
Gotcha.
So she goes to a local, like, congressman or senator or whatever, and she tries to get, like, a bill enacted that will help her pay for her medical bills. And Jake Gyllenhaal is this young upstart politician. And they end up fucking.
Is that... Never mind, I won't get into it.
What?
I was going to say, does she have impaired judgment?
Well, so yeah, funny enough, she's like, she says, like, she's like, I've never been a slut before. Like, she's like, I think the nail did something to my brain. Like, so you are accurate. Yeah. Like it's pushing like a little point in her brain that made her do some shit she didn't intend to. But it's like a weird, quirky, like funny movie. I only got halfway through because I was watching it pretty late at night. And I was like, I'm enjoying this. I want to keep watching it, but I don't want to fall asleep during it. So I just paused it and like I'm gonna go back to it. But I'm about halfway through. Good movie.
Okay.
If it's actually like it's one of those movies where it's like awkward funny. So I enjoyed it. It was fun. And it has a good cast. Tracy Morgan, very funny guy.
Yes.
And that is everything. That's the ones I have written down at least. I've been watching a lot more shit recently. I went through a phase there where I was like mainly just on YouTube. I've been like actually watching shit recently, people. We've got so I didn't watch last week's Percy Jackson. We got a new episode coming out tonight. We also have the show Echo dropping, I think in its entirety, on Disney tonight too. So we're recording this on a Tuesday. This won't be out till early next week, but we'll come back next week with some talk on Echo, I would assume. You're going to watch it?
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah. I mean, it's another Marvel show. But I'm excited to see Daredevil back. He is included in this, and that's one of the reasons I'm driven to watch it. I think you also have Kingpin in it as well. So those two reasons alone are what's drawing me to watch it. I will say, I saw somebody put a review because they were like, they saw an early screening and there was an embargo on them giving their opinion. And they were able to finally give their opinion today, and they like trashed it. And they said it's fucking bad. So,
damn.
But I've seen a lot of other people say it's good. So, we'll make our own minds up, our own decisions. But yeah, what have you guys been watching out there? Let us know if we're missing anything, if there's any recommendations. Is there rom-coms that I haven't seen that you have seen? I would love to get some because I think I've run out.
The comment section started getting active,
Yeah, like I mean, it is active. Steve is very active. I appreciate that. I just don't think he's a rom-com guy, so I don't know that he'll have a lot of recommendations for me in this regard.
I wanted to be a party in the comment section.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a party of people telling us what rom-coms to watch.
Party in the USA.
Miley. Is what are some fun names for Tom Cruise movies? We could go on with those a little bit longer. I'd love to do another week of talking about those. What's going on in that group chat? And will you be driving the Sony smart car? A lot of stuff to talk about coming off this week's episode. As always, we appreciate you for stopping by. I didn't tell you at the beginning of the episode, fucked this up. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. You can find us anywhere audio podcasts are provided, including these nuts.
Oh. Bringing it back.
Yeah, every once in a while you got to throw them in there. Throw them nuts around.
Oh, in your mouth.
Dante will be streaming simultaneously The Last of Us TLOU 2 at some point in the near future on
catch my 24-hour stream
on both this channel, but also what channels can they find you on, Dante?
Dirty Water ENT on YouTube, and I will be streaming through Twitch on dirtywater_ENT. I'm also under Instagram on the same handle.
I can't wait to see me backseat drive while you try to beat that game. It's going to be a real hoot. I can't wait for the people to be there with us for it. Title of the stream will be Beating TLOU 2 in one session for the first time ever. Maybe on Grounded.
For the first time ever?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's done it.
We'll spin a wheel for the difficulty.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah. That could go poorly for you.
Yeah, it could.
With that being said, though, everybody, as always, bang, bang, shots up to you. Peace out. We love you.
Deuces. Adieu.
For those with good taste.